What's going on, everybody? Dots Gaming here, and welcome to my updated Dragonborn PvP build for the Elder Scrolls Online Harrowstorm patch. So this build has seen some changes since last patch. Our skill loadout has pretty much completely changed. Our weapons are still the same. We're still in heavy armor. But the big thing from last patch to this patch that we changed is our skill loadout, with Stonefist changing to be what it is now. I'm really not a big fan of like the feel of the skill. The cast time on the front end makes it feel really clunky. So we changed away from that into a totally different skill loadout. But this build has been working really, really well for me. This patch, I've been really enjoying it a lot, and hopefully you guys do as well. Like I always do say, though, this is just what I like, what I use, and what has been working for me. If you guys would try or run something else, go right ahead. But this is just what's been working for me on my stamina DK this patch. So moving right into it, guys. The first thing that we have is our monster set, obviously Bloodspawn. Don't even need to say anything about it. It's just the perfect monster set. Stamina recovery, ultimate generation, resistance. It is just everything that this set gives us we need. The stamina recovery is more sustained, the ultimate is more sustained and more damage, and the spell resistant and physical resist just makes us tankier. It synergizes perfectly with the Stam DK kit. Now, our main 5-piece on the build, I mean, you'll pretty much run this on most Stam DK builds, is Fury. 1 line of health, 1 line of stamina, a line of weapon damage, and when you take damage, your weapon damage is increased up to 29 for 5 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. This effect can occur once every half second, but upon reaching 20 stacks, this is the duration of this is doubled, but can no longer be refreshed. So basically, it stacks all the way up. When it peaks, the duration goes from 5 seconds to 10 seconds, and then it cycles back down, and you got to stack it back up. Fury is just one of those sets that works so well with Stamina Dragonknight. The reason being that it spikes your weapon damage really, really high. And being that Stam DK has access to both major and minor brutality, stacking weapon damage on Stam DK is really, really effective, and Fury is one of the best sets for doing that. Now, the other set that we are running, we've dropped the Clever Alchemist Asylum Greatsword. I liked it. It was fun, and it's really good in this patch, but I wanted to try something different, and I found a setup that I personally liked a little bit more, and that is actually Ancient Dragon Guard. So Ancient Dragon Guard gives us a line of maximum health, a line of weapon damage, a line of weapon critical, and it adds 293 weapon damage while your health is above 50% and 3380 physical and spell resist while your health is below 50%. So when we are at higher health, we have way more damage and can go on the offensive, and then when our health is a bit lower, we get more resistances, making us tankier. Really have been liking this set. I have never really run it before, and I was playing with the Clever Asylum Greatsword on Stam DK, and I was liking it, I was having fun, but I was like, you know what, I want to mix it up and try something a little bit different, and I put on Ancient Dragon Guard, and it's been a really good time. I'm really, really enjoying the set. Combos really, really well with Fury, and gives us a really nice amount of weapon damage. I mean, look at this, we're at almost 3k unbuffed weapon damage before, even before any Fury stacks, any buffs or anything, so really, really loving this set. In terms of gear weights and traits and all that jazz, we are running triple prismatic. 4 prismatics, 5 prismatics. Forgot I'm running so many prismatics now. We're running 5 prismatics and 2 stamina glyphs. It is all impen. And then we are running 2 medium and 5 heavy. I feel like just Stam DK just synchronizes really, really well with heavy. We are running 2 robust and 1 infused. The infused is a reduced stam cost, and the 2 robusts are weapon damage. We are running a Nirnhoned Maul with the Berserker Glyph on the front bar. Maul is just the best weapon, just gives so much pen. So we're running a Nirnhoned Maul with the Berserker Glyph on the front bar. And we are running a Nirnhoned One-Hander with the Poison Glyph on the back bar to help proc combustion, and a Sturdy Shield with maximum stamina. In terms of our skills, you already noticed it. We're running Dizzying Swing. So we stow an upward swing, dealing 11k physical damage, sending them off balance for 7 seconds. Hitting an enemy that's already off balance will stun them for 2 seconds, and targets that are immune to off balance are instead snared by 40%. So I don't like the new Stonefist. I don't like how it feels. I don't like how it plays. It feels really clunky to me. I just don't like it, and low slash is just not that great anymore. So we have since then moved back to Dizzying Swing. It's a fun skill. I like it. It's still very, very good. Setting targets off balance for 7 seconds is really, really nice. That's 10% damage increase, too, because of our exploiter passes from CP for 7 seconds. Really, really nice. If we do hit this twice in a row, we can get the stun, but we do have a stun outside of Dizzying Swing. in case we don't want to use this. We can also medium weave on the off balance too. We have a lot of CC options here, and also this is now a snare now this patch too, if the target is immune to off balance. So we have another a nice strong snare from our spammable skill. But we do run another CC on our build though for when this off balance is on cooldown. We are running Venomous Claw. So it deals 4,600 initial poison damage and an additional 13.68 poison over 14 seconds. And the poison seeps into your target, dealing increased damage the longer it lasts, doing 20% more damage every 2 seconds, and enemies hit by this initial hit are afflicted with the poison status effect. I know a lot of people really aren't running Venomous Claw nowadays. To me, it just feels weird playing Stam DK without Venomous Claw. Obviously, I like dot damage, so I'm still going to put this on the build. I still like to have the extra dots. If you're like, Venomous Claw is bad, I don't want to run it. What you can do instead is run Camo Hunter. Camo Hunter is really, really good for the front bar, giving us our Major Savagery, as well as Minor Berserk when we hit an enemy from a flank. So having this on our front bar instead of Venomous Claw is also a really, really strong option. So it's up to you which one of these skills you want to use. Either have more consistent pressure with Venomous Claw or bigger burst with Camo Hunter. Totally up to you. We have Executioner. Executioner is going to be our execute, dealing up to 400% more damage to enemies below 50% health. It's just Reverse Slice doesn't even hold a candle to Executioner anymore. Ever since they buffed this skill, it is just the best execute in my opinion between the two. We run Noxious Breath, dealing an initial tooltip of 7k damage and another 10.5k over 14 seconds. We don't really run it for that, though. We run it for the AoE Major Fracture. That's kind of like what DK is nowadays, is you run their dots for their secondary effects, not as much for the damage anymore. We are using Forward Momentum, so because we're in heavy, we do want to use Forward Momentum. I'm not really a big fan of wings, so I prefer to go the route of Forward Momentum, so it gives us Major Brutality as well as Minor Endurance, and activating this gives us a 4-second immunity and removes immobilizations and snares and all of that jazz. So Forward Momentum is a very, very good skill for keeping us a little bit more mobile and unencumbered. This is a heavy armor build that doesn't run Major Expedition, so we are a bit on the slower side. So I like to have the longer duration of Major Expedition on this compared to something like Wings. We're running Take Flight. 19k on buff tooltip, physical damage. I mean, we don't have Fury up at all, but still, strong tooltip. Deals physical damage, knock enemies back, stun them for 2 seconds. This is our main gap closer. This is also really, really cheap. So between being in Nord and between Bloodspawn, we're able to have this up very frequently, which means that we're able to proc Battle Roar very frequently and close the gap to our targets should they start to get away. So really, really like Take Flight as my ultimate. Plus Leap is just super, super fun. Even though it is slowed down, I don't like the way it feels right now, but still, it is my favorite ultimate in the game, so we still do run it. Back bar, we are using Fragmented Shield. Fragmented Shield is our way of proccing our Minor Brutality from our Earthen Heart passives, as well as giving us Major Mending to increase the healing of our Vigor and our Cauterize. And speaking of which, we do have Vigor, 18k tooltip over 4 seconds. This is granted, again, no Fury, but this is our main hot. And also combine that with Cauterize. So Cauterize gives us a 6.5 heal every 5 seconds. Scales with our highest offensive stats, costs Magicka, so it's a heal out of our different pool. So between Fragmented Shield, Resolving Vigor, and Cauterize, that pretty much covers all the healing we need for Stam DK. It's a really, really strong combination. I've been liking it a lot. We're running Hardened Armor as our armor buff. It gives us our physical and spell resist, and gives us a really minor damage shield while returning some magic damage back to the attackers. The reason I run Hardened Armor, not Volatile, is because the Volatile dot is so minuscule and so just like blah, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's so irrelevant that I'd rather have a tiny damage shield that's going to make me a tiny bit more survivable than run a basically irrelevant dot that health recovery will probably out heal. So I just run Hardened Armor for that reason. We run Reverberating Bash as our CC outside of D-Swing. With Off Balance having a pretty long cooldown, now in Harrowstorm, we do, in my opinion, want a CC outside of the D-Swing. So we run Reverb for that reason. I miss the Major Defile, but, this is our shield stun, so it's what we got. We are now using Spell Wall on our back bar. I like having the defensive ultimate on the back bar. Really liking it a lot. Not as big of a fan of Corrosive ever since they changed it. Really like Spell Wall now. Automatically blocks for you. Reflects all projectiles for like 7 seconds. It's really cheap. It's only 135 ultimate. Really, really nice skill. And I'm enjoying it a lot. So basically, the only changes I'd make to this skill loadout, the only flex spot is if you want to run Camo Hunter instead of Venomous Claw. you could do either or. Both will be strong again. More consistent pressure, more burst. Totally up to you. In terms of our stats, we got about 12k maximum magicka, 25.3k max health, 33k stam on the front bar, and 34k on the back bar. We're running at 1386 stamina recovery, 3k unbuffed weapon damage, 27.7% weapon critical. Our weapon critical is obviously on the lower side because we are in heavy armor. It will be higher, though, if you do choose to use Camo Hunter. So if you run Camo Hunter on the front bar, you will be sitting at about 37.7% crit. So you have a higher critical chance with Camo Hunter. 22.7k spell resist and 19.4k physical resist thanks to heavy armor and being ignored with 3k crit resist. We're running the Warrior Mundus to work into our weapon damage stack. We got the offensive scroll bonus for 2% more weapon damage. The weapon damage is a little bit lower than this. There's not much of a difference here between this and that. This wasn't here literally when I started this build video, but the difference between this and this, it's so minor. As you can see, it's only 2%. So you could expect, you know, a little bit above 2,800, around 2,800 to 2,900 weapon damage unbuffed. And then we're using the Lavafoot Soup and Saltrice buff food for the superior stamina and stamina recovery. I don't really use Dubious or Witch Mothers all that often anymore. Certain classes, maybe certain builds, but for the most part, I try to use different buff foods. And Lavafoot works super well with the fact that we get health from Fury, we get health from Ancient Dragon Guard, we get tons of health from being ignored, so we don't really need any health from our buff food, and so we can get way more stamina and that nice big boost to our stamina recovery from the Lavafoot, allowing us to get more damage off of our gear. And then I'm only a werewolf because I use that for VMA, so you can basically ignore that. In terms of champion points... Oh, before I get to champion points, race. So in terms of race, I'm a Nord. I just think Nord is by far the best race for Stam DK. Everything about Nord is good for Stam DK. I mean, you have the extra health, which just helps you pad your HP pool to make it so that you can run Lavafoot. The cold resistant immunity to chilled status effect is really, really nice so that we can stay more mobile. We have more stamina, which obviously is good because we're a stamina class. We get more ultimate generation, which is perfect for a stamina DK. It basically means more sustain. And getting the 4k increased spell and physical resist just makes us that much more tanky. So really do like Nord. I think it is just by far the best race for Stam DK. Into our CP. We have 32 points into Blessed, 81 into Master at Arms, 37 into Precise Strikes, 45 into Piercing, and 75 into Mighty with nothing into Thaumaturge. 66 into Ironclad, 49 into Resistant, 37 into Thick Skinned, 43 into Hardy and Ellie Defender, and 32 into Quick Recovery, 4 into Siphoner, 56 into Warlord, 25 into Sprinter, 75 into Mooncalf, 44 into Tumbling, and 66 into Shadow. But that is our Stam DK build, guys. The updated Dragonborn build for the Harrowstorm patch. Stam DK is really, really fun this patch. I've been enjoying it a lot. I got some BG footage for you guys to show you how just like the build plays in general. So if you guys do like this build, if you like the updated build, the version of the Dragonborn, I would appreciate if you smacked a like on the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those below. And to obviously keep up with great Elder Scrolls Online content here on the Dots Gaming YouTube channel, as well as other gaming content, please hit that sub button, as well as hit the bell to keep notifications on. One more thing I want to touch on, though, before we get to the PvP footage. I totally just realized I forgot my potion. For potion, I am running Tri-Stat Pots. I just really prefer Tri-Stat Pots for Stam DK. The extra Magicka Restoration 2 from these, I feel like, really, really helps when using multiple Magicka skills like we are, you know, between our Armor Buff, Fragmented Shield, and Cauterize. Having the Magicka Restoration off the potion is really, really nice. Otherwise, I think I pretty much hit everything else. We got gear and enchants and all that jazz, skills, the stat sheet information, potion. Yeah, we hit everything. So anyway, guys, enjoy the BG footage. Thank you for stopping by. I'll talk to you all very soon.
They've seized the point!
What's the point? The point is ours!
By the best! The capture point's moved!
Well, not the best, not the best game in terms of actually, you know, winning the objective here, but god damn, dude. This version of the build feels way better than the other one I was running. Way better. So, yeah, I know people are gonna go, oh, but you didn't win. Why are you putting this in the fucking video and blah, blah, blah. So, the reason I'm putting this in, I tried to play the objective as much as I can. I didn't just like run around and only get kills. We ended up getting 16 kills also trying to, you know, go around with the objectives and whatnot. I put this in to mainly showcase what the gameplay of the build looks like. Please don't get it twisted. Every time I put games like this in where I do well, but our team loses, people always, like, some people always get their knickers in a knot, but this is literally just to showcase gameplay and just show you what the build looks like if you were to actually put it on and play it yourself. But yeah, man, new version of the Dragonborn feels mighty spicy. Really, really liking it. If you guys do enjoy the build, don't forget to show it some love. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. It's still early. I'm still drinking my coffee when I'm recording this. Hopefully you guys enjoy the new Dragonborn build. So again, thank you all for stopping by and watching. See y'all next time.